let's talk about this pricing of a thing. I'm tired of having so many cleaning companies calling me and chatting every day, trying to find out what I charge my clients for a 2 bedroom flat, a 4 bedroom duplex, 5 bedroom duplex. Does it mean that every time you have a client, you have to come and start calling you to find out what she charged? It's ridiculous because we don't charge the same for every project. There are different conditions that affect what you charge a client. Now, I'm going to teach you guys how to charge for every project. Okay, so when you want to charge for a project, the first thing you have to do is to sit down and do a cost analysis. Don't just rattle out the price. Don't just give a client a price. Sit down, calculate what you're going to spend for that project, then add a profit and give it to the client. Don't just rattle out a price. Now, let me tell you why you cannot just rattle out a price. First of all, before giving a price to a client, you have to consider the distance to that project. Because if you don't have a car, you're going to be spending money on logistics. Even though you have a car, though, you're going to be buying fuel, right? So that's an expense. You put that down. Now, if you're using a wage worker, operations with wage workers are more expensive. I use a salaried worker, so my expenditures when it comes to workers are way less than what yours are. So if you're using a wage worker, you should be charging higher than what I, who use a salaried worker, charge. Okay, so that's another reason why it's ridiculous to go with my price. Then another thing is the condition of the house. A condition of the house will dictate how much materials you're going to use there, and you know that the more materials you use, the more expensive it will be. It will also dictate for you how many workers you're going to take and how long it will take you. The longer a project takes, the more money you should charge for it. The shorter a project takes, the lesser you should charge for it. I don't know if you guys understand. Also, the condition of the place. If it's a huge place, you have to charge higher. If it's a smaller place, it's taking less materials, it's taking less time, so you can charge lower for that. Now, I'm going to teach you a simple metrics with a 2 bedroom flat. I'm going to teach you a simple metrics of calculating what your expenditures are and giving the price. You can use this example for any other house you want to play, 3 bedroom flat, 4 bedroom duplex, whatever you want to play. So I'm going to just teach you how to do the calculations, and then you can apply this for everything else. So before you start giving a client a charge, you have to first of all think about your company standard. Now, when a client comes to you for cleaning, they look at your packaging, they look at all those things before talking to you. If you're one of those people who are using local materials, you just have a local packaging and all that, you can't charge too high. Your profit margin has to be very, very low because of the standard you have. But if you have cleaning equipment, you have very nice packaging, you can charge higher, and the clients wouldn't mind paying because they see value for what you give. You don't look ridiculous to them when you give such a price because they feel like you are valuable because you have assets too. Now, think about that first before giving a price. And secondly, your profit test. Are you okay with a profit of 20,000 or 30,000 or 40,000? For me personally, if my profit is not up to 30,000 naira and above for any project, I don't take it on. Okay, if my profit is not up to 30,000 naira and above for any project, I will not touch it because that is my profit test. That's the profit margin I'm okay with. Some of you are okay with 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira profit, 20,000 naira profit, and that's totally fine. But for me, it doesn't work for me. So that's another thing you should consider during your pricing. Then another thing you should consider is your machine usage. If you're going to use machines to clean a client's house, you definitely should be charging higher, okay? Because they are assets. They are assets of the company. So because you procure them and they are expensive and they degrade, you should be charging more, okay? Now, your materials too, before giving a charge, calculate the materials you're going to be using for that project. If you're going to be using O4, calculate how many gallons of O4 are you going to use. Okay, let's say I'm going to use 10,000 naira worth of O4. I'm going to be using towels. I don't like to repeat towels, so I'm going to be using towels of like 5,000 naira. I'm going to be using soap of so amount. So calculate all those materials, how much it will cost. Then wage payments. Calculate how much you're going to pay your wage staff for the day of that work. Okay. Then another thing is your logistics. How much would it cost you to go there to the client's place and come back? If you're using Uber, it's expensive. Put in that cost. If you're using your car, calculate the fuel amount you're going to use, the fuel you're going to spend to go there and to come back. Now, let's use a simple 2 bedroom flat. For someone who uses wage workers, let's use a simple 2 bedroom flat, for example. So let me show you an example of how to charge using a 2-bedroom flat as an example. Number one, you have to find out what is the condition of that 2-bedroom flat. Is it large? Is it small? How long will it take me to clean the place? Definitely, if the place is a large 2-bedroom flat, you know it will take like 7 to 8 hours, or you know it will take like 4 wage workers, or it will take like 5 wage workers. So you have to consider that the condition of the place will dictate how many workers you're going to use and how long it will take. So another thing you have to consider is the distance, the location. If the place is close to you, of course, you're spending less on transport. So, you know, you should factor that in, that your transportation is less. Then if the place is too far, you have to factor in the fact that the transportation is going to be high. So factor in the transport. So now let's say the condition of the 2-bedroom flat is it's a small typical 2-bedroom flat, and the condition is not so bad. It's empty and it's a deep cleaning and people want to move into it. So let's say it's going to take you 4 workers. Normally to take you 4 workers, 4 wage workers to clean a 2-bedroom flat, right? So those wage workers, you pay them, let's say for example, you pay them 5,000 naira per day. I think on average it's 5,000 naira per day that you pay your wage workers, right? So you're going to do, I'm sorry, excuse me, 4 wage workers times 5,000 naira, that's 20,000 naira, right? For wage payment. Then the materials you use, all for soap and all that, let's say 5,000 naira. Okay, I'm noting that down here. Then still for on the small 2-bedroom flat, your transportation to and fro to the place. Let's say the place is close to you. Your transportation will be about, transport should be about 5,000 naira going and coming. Okay, if the place is close. If the place is far, you know it's like 10,000 or 20,000. Or if there's traffic, you know that it's going to be really expensive. But this is just an example. Okay, then what else? Your logistics are put in materials and your wage worker. Then miscellaneous, always put in miscellaneous in case anything happens. Let's say miscellaneous of, you know, 10, let's say 5,000 naira. In case you need to make any urgent expenses, you put a miscellaneous of 5,000 naira. So here we have our wage payments 20,000 naira, plus materials 5,000 naira, that's 25,000. Transport 5,000 naira, that's 30,000. Then miscellaneous 5,000 naira. So your total expenditure for cleaning a typical 2-bedroom flat is 35,000 naira. That's if it's close to you. If it's farther and you're using Uber, you know that it's more expensive than this. So just your expenses alone is 35,000 to clean a 2-bedroom flat that is close to you. 35,000 for those of you using wage workers, which means according to your profit test, if you want to make 30,000 naira of this, that means you have to charge the client 65,000 naira. That means 35,000 naira for your expenses and 30,000 naira for your profit. If you want, you can make it 55,000 naira. That means your profit is 20,000 naira and your expenses is 35,000 naira. Now, this is why you should stop disturbing me and calling me to ask for my, prices to set yours. You see this 2-bedroom flat? I don't pay wage workers. I don't have wage workers. I have salaried workers. So cancel this 20,000 naira, right? Now, my materials, I buy them wholesale. I make my own soap. My materials, I buy them wholesale, so they come at a very cheap price. So these materials that is 5,000 naira for you, I spend it would be like 2,000 naira for me to clean a 2-bedroom flat. My transport, I have my own vans. Transportation to, even if it's far, the transport will be highest 2,000 naira, right? Then my miscellaneous, I always have all risks covered. So let's say miscellaneous will be like 2,000 naira or nothing. So here we have a total of 2,000 naira for miscellaneous. Transportation, we have here 2,000 naira, that's 4,000 naira. My materials 2,000 naira, 6,000 naira. So for a 2-bedroom flat, it would take me, honest to God, about 6,000 naira to 10,000 naira to clean a 2-bedroom flat. And I can decide to charge 50,000 naira for it. I can decide to charge 40,000 naira for it, depending on my mood and depending on, if I feel like, oh, let me just go with a 30,000 naira profit or 40,000 naira profit. And this is for a small 2-bedroom flat, right? Now, when it's bigger, of course, your expenses will be bigger, okay? Then you know how to charge. So I'm just trying to explain to you guys why calling people to ask them for their prices does not make sense, because you cannot charge the same thing we charge. Now, for you using wage workers, you see you have to charge 65,000 naira. For me using salaried workers, I can just decide to charge 40,000 naira or 50,000 naira for it, and I'll still make good profit because my expenses are low. So don't call me to ask me for prices. My prices, my expenditures are very low. I always advise people to try as much as possible to make your expenses low. But I understand some of you don't get clients frequently, so you cannot, purchase some of the assets I have, or keep salaried workers. But always sit down to calculate your expenses like this. It would help you really well with calculating costs. Okay, so I hope you guys understand this. If you have any questions, just ask me. Have a great day.